Hi everyone, this is Cherry Enchantress with Pixie Dust Tarot. I was about to just like talk really fast. Okay, slow down. This is your daily dust for Wednesday, August 31st. If you're watching in real time, and I film it a day ahead of time, so happy birthday to my daughter's boyfriend, Michael, who's kind of like my son-in-law, unofficially, but someday, and he's also really great addition to the family. So I hope he has a wonderful day wherever he is out there in the world. All right, and so if you're stumbling upon this at any other time of the year, it can also be for you. It is a timeless reading, and I think it's kind of exciting to take it as a timeless reading, because that's when it really feels like a spirit message, like spirit sending you something. Also, if you've already, if you watch this today and then somewhere in the future you decide to go back and watch, it might be on a day that it is even more significant, that it really, or you might have experienced this type of day and it comes true, maybe not on August 31st, but maybe on another day. So these are general messages for everybody out there. So it can be true for a lot of you, but also they're energies that can happen, kind of manifest at any time. So let's take a look. We're going to use the Star Spinner Tarot. I love this deck. It's so cute, and it's very LGBTQ friendly, and it has an abundance of lovers cards, which is another thing that I like about this deck, because I like lovers. And lovers card is actually my life path card, so I'm meant to be partnered up with somebody pretty dang amazing. We'll see. Well, it's happening in the ethereal realm. All right, here we go. I like this sort of silvery, it's not iridescent or anything, but it does have sort of a silvery glow. It doesn't shuffle that great because it's kind of hard, but eventually I'll get it. Eventually I'll get it. I feel like I need to cut these cards too. That kind of worked really good the other day when I cut the cards. Okay, I'm going to cut them. And I'm going to take from the top. Here we go. Okay, not as good this time. But 8 of Swords, not terrible. It's just a feeling of being stuck. I kind of understand this. Like, sometimes when you get in your mind, it's just a 2 of Swords issue. Not a too big a deal. But when you like really get stuck and you can't seem to get out of your mind, it like raises numbers, then you're this number, then you're the 4 of Swords is a good one. But let's say you get into higher and higher energies. You get into the 8, then you get into the 9, then you get into the 10. So you got a chance now at the 8 of Swords to turn that thinking around and to see things the way they really are. Let's keep looking though. Oh, see, and that's the 2 of Swords. So it's a de-escalation, so that's good. And the Knight of Swords. Interesting. Okay. So with the Knights, we can be sometimes dealing with the person or higher self energy or ego self energy too. So let's zoom in and take a closer look. I just had a downloaded song message. So I was thinking how blue this is. It's actually quite pretty, but it's a deep blue, like the color of my eyes. And then I heard the song, I heard the lyric, Lose Those Blues. And then I hear the song, I've got arms and you've got arms. Let's get acquainted and use those arms. Let's go. Time's a wasting. It's like this, let's get acquainted and lose those blues energy. So that's the overall message here. But let's break it down and see why you're stuck. Why are you stuck in this, in your head so much? And it always has to do with either remembering the past or fear of the future. And this came out, a friend of mine or a client / friend of mine, her reading about anxiety. And I think whenever we get into anxiety and depression, it's our ego mind trying to make sense of our current world. And in order to make sense of our current world, we dip into the past and we remember past scenarios because they're familiar. They make sense because we've done it, you know, or we catastrophize and we project into the future because we feel like, well, if it happened in the past, it's probably going to happen in the future. But that is now not necessary. That is completely up to you. So if you are dealing with a 8 of Swords, you may be afraid to make some kind of move for fear of being hurt. And this could be a prison of your own making, completely unfounded. You don't know, you don't really know, right? You're just assuming. It can also represent being caught, you know, being held accountable for something that you did. Maybe it's a little bit about codependency too, about habits, bad habits, things that you might, a self-denial of certain things, or trying to explain some of your emotional problems without actually looking at the heart of it, with actually diving in a little deeper and looking at your, you know, your role, your responsibility, your shadow, whatever. So I feel like if you feel stuck in a certain place or position, or you're feeling a little doubt about things and feeling a little fearful to make any kind of moves, then while you're there, you know, not moving too much, do a little deep dive, do a little shadow work. That is the best solution for that issue. And as you do a little shadow work, then I think the mood lifts and lightens. You don't feel quite as trapped anymore. You realize you're only human, right? We need to forgive ourselves and we need to not judge. So when you're alone with yourself and observing yourself, being conscious and aware of your surroundings and how you react to things, the best way to go about it is not to judge. It's just simply to observe, just to be, you know, kind of a loving guide to your own self. Your higher self is a loving guide to your ego self. And when you get to that stage, then you're leveling up actually from the 8 to the 2. And then you start, you know, getting into decisions, right? Well, the decision to not make a decision is probably the worst decision to make here. So standing still, not making a decision will slip you back into the 8 of Swords. So now you're into, okay, I'm brave enough, I'm ready to make a decision. And it's important to engage with your surroundings, yourself, your surroundings, and all parties involved so you can make that decision and move through and get to where you need to go. Just remember, with the 2 of Swords, the other positive thing that we're doing here is we're moving out of just the ego mind and going into the intuitive mind. So now you're being aware, you're having consciousness, you are aware of yourself. Self-awareness is real important to leveling up and getting out of that funken phase, right? So you have this, so now you, if your mind is still going back and forth, then release it, let go, breathe, and get into your subconscious and tap into spirit. There's lots of ways you can do that, and everybody's got a personal way. And I'd say just search it, find it, try to find a good way to relax and let go and let spirit be your guide. Co-create, be intuitive. Just know there's a knowing inside of you that's beyond everything else. That knowing is usually that thing that makes you feel really good, like that happy, uplifted thing that pops up. You're like, oh, okay, I feel that. That's not denial. Nope. And that is not being overly proud or overly anything. That is the truth. The true feeling, the truth comes in that beautiful little happy package, okay? And so that good bubble, that's what you got to tap into. And then listen to that, and then you move into your power. So the Knight of Swords is an interesting card too. It could represent you or person of interest. It could represent air signs like Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. The Knight of Swords, this is I mean, I feel like air signs have a beautiful gift of being mentally agile, very honest, truthful to themselves. Now you're coming into your own personal truths. The Knight is about action, and so I love, this is kind of a Valkyrie kind of girl. She's beautiful and winged and determined, and she's not going to let fears get in the way. She is proactive. She's curious. She might be a little bit harsh sometimes, but her opinions are based mostly on fact and research and things that she truly believes in, right? So she's a very good communicator. There could be times where there's a bit of inflexibility. So if this represents you, be aware of that in yourself. If this represents somebody else, be aware that that could be just part of their personality that they might be working on, but give them the benefit of the doubt that they're working on it. You know, don't try. If that's what you're worried about, like you're in this cage because you are afraid to confront this person or face this person or interact with this person for fear they might hurt you. Well, they may have a protective coat around them because they are hurt people. You know, they've been hurt in their lives as well. So hurt people sometimes accidentally or intentionally hurt others. Just be aware of that. Be aware of that. It's not, in most cases, it's not intentional, and I don't feel like it is in this case. So it takes a little bit of swallowing your pride and taking a deep breath and being magnanimous and looking past. It's like dealing with the beast, you know, a little bit, you know. Well, he was worse than just harsh. He was kind of mean in the beginning, and there was no reason for Belle to put up with that. She had every reason to want to leave, but with time, they broke down some layers. So there could be that sense here that this just needs a little time for people to feel comfortable in the situation. Right now, it's just a little bit, it's a little harsh. It just feels a little bit, I don't know, like an uncertainty and a fear of getting hurt. But I feel like a mix of, yes, use your logic, but definitely use your intuition. Your intuition will help you level up out of the fear factor of the situation and get you into a brave, strong, confident, bold stance that you can work with, okay? All right, well, I hope you like that. Fae, Trust, and Pixie Dust.
If you vibe, like, share, and subscribe.